YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Noel Blends. We are back at it again with another haircut tutorial. We are going to be doing a high taper on my boy, and I'm going to show you guys my steps on how I do these type of haircuts, how I achieve this type of look. I hope you guys like them. I hope you guys like the video. Other than that, it's your boy Noel Blends. Let's get right into it. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is come in with our comb and just make sure everything's nice and down, laid down right. We are going to come in with our 1.5 lever fully open and just pretty much just setting up our foundation, debulking everything where our blend's going to be at. Towards the top where his curls are at, you do want to scoop out and just go straight up, not really taking down too much of the curls. He is growing it all out, so we don't want to dig in too crazy in there. So for our first initial step, we are going to come in with our zero gap trimmers and create our first initial bald guideline. We are going to take it pretty much, this does not have no C cups, so we are going to eliminate that and just go all the way to the bottom of his vertical bars on his edge up. Just make sure everything's nice and down to skin. So when setting in this guideline, you do want to be careful if your trimmers are zero gap. I recommend not to zero gap them if you are first starting, but once you get a little bit more experience, you can go in with your zero gap trimmers, because the line will be pretty tough to take out if you put a lot of crazy pressure on there. So next, for our next step, we are gonna take it all the way down to skin. So we're gonna use our shavers and just go all the way to the top of the line and just let the shaver do the work. Do not put crazy pressure, or else the line will be tough to take out. Next, we come in with our half guard lever fully closed and we create about a 1/2 inch guideline. We're not gonna do about 1 inch because we're working with such a small space. If we do make inch guidelines, we ain't gonna have enough space to really create a nice transition. Just remember to always keep the blades flat when creating these guidelines. So now we're gonna take out the bottom line, the first initial bald guideline we had created. These are my Auster fast feeds with the ceramic blade. You can use whatever clipper, it does not matter, as long as you can break that bottom line and just open it about 1/4 if you have to, or however much you have to. But to be honest, with the Auster fast feeds, I just have to open it about 1/4 and that line comes right out for the most part. So right here, these are my zero gap trimmers as well, and we're just taking out any little stubbles that my clipper missed. Next, what you want to do is grab your one guard lever fully open, and we're going to start a fade down. Now we're going to go all the way to the top right underneath his curls and just keep the blade flat and just start to fade down. We're pretty much going to sandwich the blend now. As you guys can see, his hair is growing all over the place, so you want to go against the grain and adjust your clipper in whichever way you have to. That way you can go against the grain. Right here I did close it halfway. Now we're going to go a little bit more underneath. Just remember, keep that blade flat and you're going to get the the best smooth buttery blends. You're going to be producing all these blends all the time once you get this technique down. As you guys can see right there, I did fully close it. Now we're just going to attack that middle ghost line. Keep in mind, it's not going to take it out completely, but it's going to soften it up as much as it can. And once you see the clipper not really taking it down, coming out, just leave it alone, and we're going to hop into our next step. So right here we are doing the half guard lever fully closed, and we're going to attack the rest of the remaining little dark spots in that. It's basically what we couldn't get with our number one guard. We come in with the half guard, and just with this step, you do want to utilize your corners a little bit better because you can push up the blend. So just make sure you go right on the little dark spot and just flick out. Give it more of a flick on this step only. So this right here, I do jump back to my Auster fast feeds. This is just polishing the blend. We're just detailing right here. As you guys can see, I open it, I close it. I'm just doing whatever, attacking any little dark spot I missed with my other steps. And just, this is what's details like this is what's gonna bring out your blend like crazy. So just make sure you go back in detail and look at your work. Step back and look at it and see what you gotta hit again. We are going to go with the number one guard close and just knock down his edge up a little bit. A lot of barbers don't really do this step right here, but this is one step I do recommend for y'all when doing an edge up. If he has like a double edge up, make sure you knock it down. Don't leave it super curly and long. In some cases, your clients are not going to want you to touch it. Then you got to listen to your clients. But for the most part, if you think you got to knock it down to make it crispy, please do so. It does give it an extra pop. So I've learned one thing about being in this industry is that details do matter. You can do about 20 haircuts a day and just cut them really fast, 15-20 minute haircuts. But there's also a clientele for people that like to have their stuff or their haircuts really crispy and just detailed. So if someone tells you gotta go fast, don't always listen to them. You go at your pace, and you do whatever you gotta do to perfect your blend. I mean, if you're gonna be paying high money for a haircut, wouldn't you want your haircut to be pretty crispy? You know, there's a clientele for every type of barber, for the fast barbers and for the detailed barbers. And to me, I've always been a detailed barber. I just like my haircuts to look a certain way. Ain't nothing wrong with the fast haircuts either. I'm just telling you from my experience. So basically what I'm saying is, like, are you gonna be a fast barber or are you gonna be a detailed barber? If you want to be a fast barber, all right, go for it. But just know your haircuts ain't gonna be as solid, as crispy, because there ain't no way you can get a solid crispy haircut in 15-20 minutes. You can probably get a decent haircut that's passable. For the most part, that's what a lot of people look for. But or you can do like this, where you can eventually charge more for a detailed haircut, but it is harder to get to that level. It does take more time, and there is a lot of points where you want to give up because your haircuts ain't coming out how you want them to. But I promise you, as long as you keep going and keep an open mind and want to learn and take constructive criticism from other people, you'll be fine, and your haircuts will come out pretty dope. Just with time, just give it time, and then in the long run, it pays off. And that's one thing in this industry. If you're gonna be hard-headed and get mad over people pretty much judging your haircuts in a good way, then yeah, this industry is probably not for you. Or you gotta learn how to overcome all that, because if not, it's gonna eat you up alive. Every time you do a haircut and your client don't like it or something, it's gonna bother you, it's gonna ruin your day. So it's best to just accept things and just move on from it and learn from it. So as you guys can see, we did do our first initial bald guideline. We did debulk with the 1.5 just to set our foundation, or where we're gonna put our blend. So now after all that, we are gonna come in with our shavers right here and just let the shaver do its work. Go all the way to the top and just clean it up. Get it all the way down to skin. Next, what you want to do is grab your half guard, lever fully closed, and we're gonna create about an inch guideline. Just go all the way across his hair and just make sure it's nice and neat. Neat guidelines means neat fades, so just remember that. Keep the blade flat as well. As you guys can see, I'm keeping it flat. Now what we're gonna do is break the bottom bald guideline we had created, and we're just gonna go right on it and just flick right on it. Do not push it up super high. It should come right out. As you guys can see, it don't take much effort. That's why I like these steps, because I don't struggle on taking out the bottom line. It's, to me, learning, that was probably the hardest part. So once I figured it out, like how to really just erase that line with the half guard, using the half guard, and then that step, it became really easy, and it don't take much for it to come out if you really sit down and think about it. Us as barbers, we tend to make it a lot harder than what it really is. Just relax while you guys cut hair. Do not get nervous. I know it's easy for me to say, but honestly, truly, do not get nervous. Just relax while you guys cut hair. You don't have to hustle. Just relax, and basically relax while you cut hair. It's gonna be it'll go a lot better for you. So right after we took out the bottom line, we are coming with our 1.5 guard, lever fully closed, and we're gonna create about an inch guideline. Just making sure everything's flat, kind of flicking towards the top where his curls are at, because we don't want to really dig into him. Like I said, he is growing it out, so we don't want to mess up his future undercut, basically. As you can see, I go a little bit more like curved up on his edges, because I don't like the edges to be really dark. I like it to look all just even. Right here, our next step is our 1 guard, lever fully open, and we're gonna start to sandwich the blend. We're basically doing the same thing we just did with our 1.5 guard, but this time we're gonna start with our one guard, lever fully open, just go all the way to the top. Keep the blade flat in this situation and then close it halfway. Then we're gonna go a little bit more underneath, still following the way his hair growth goes. You want to go against it, so whichever way his hair grows, make sure you go against it. So adjust your clipper as you go. As you guys seen right there, I did fully close it now. We're gonna attack that middle ghost line. Keep in mind, it's not gonna take out the line completely. As you guys can see, for the most part, it kind of does, but I can still see a little tiny line, a little dark area. It's not really a line, it's a ghost line, so it's not a hard line, but it's not gonna take it out completely. So once you hear the clipper, just stop cutting or seeing it staying the same, just leave it alone, and we're gonna go to our next step. So right here, we're gonna come in with our half guard, and we're gonna clean up that little ghost line I just pointed to, and just utilize your corners on this step. Remember guys, be careful, you can push up the blend, so just make sure you use your corner and give it more of a flick out on this step, right on the little dark areas. And once you see it come out, just leave it alone. This step right here is what's really gonna make your blend pop out and just makes it all come together basically. So right here, this is gonna be detail work. We're just gonna polish up the blend basically. Any little dark spot that I missed, this step right here is gonna take out that little dark spot. Just utilize your corners as well, because when polishing, you can basically just push up the blend like crazy. Next, what you want to do is grab your 1.5 guard, halfway close, and we're just going to connect the top to the bottom as much as possible. We do not want to go too much into his curls, so right underneath his curls, that's where we're going to put this guard, this step at. Just go and give him more of a scoopy motion. That way we don't dig too much into his curls. He is growing it out. So I did go back to my one guard just to detail some more. I wasn't satisfied with the blend completely. So what you want to do when detailing in a higher area, you do want to start off with your bigger guard with the one guard, and just start with everything open. When you go back down the guard list to detail, you can do the one, the half guard, and then the no guard, and just detail, but always start with the open just to play it on the safe side. Don't be afraid to pull down his ear when doing the lineup in the back. A lot of people do tend to think they're hurting the clients, but you are not hurting them. Just pull it down and angle your clipper as best as you can, and just use the corners and utilize the corners to get that nice, sharp, crisp lineup. So just in case you forgot what my client came in looking like, this was the before, this is how he sat in my chair. And this is how he's leaving my chair. I think the cut came out super fire. You got your high taper with the curls. Kept it a little bit lower in the back just to not really push it up super high, but came out super fire. If you guys like this haircut, please let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you guys get alerted every time I drop a new video. I am dropping weekly for you guys. I appreciate everybody that's on my channel that subscribed and shows love. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from you guys. I'm glad I'm helping every single one of you guys. And just make sure you guys share this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I do have in mind of a challenge that I've been wanting to do. Edgar haircut challenge sometime. I want to call out some people, so stay tuned for that. I don't know when exactly, but it's coming up. It's gonna be sometime soon. Other than that, it's your boy Noel Blends, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.